Do not be afraid. You have no enemies here. As I believe you know, I am Guthix.
What just happened? Are you injured?
Sliske was wielding an elder weapon. A godslayer, if you will. I am dying, Kizamus. But we still have time. It has been most interesting watching your brave journey to get here.
You knew what was happening outside.
Yes. I saw everything. I cannot blame you for your decisions, Kizamus. But there is something I must show you.
Guthix?
I have taken a form from my past.
Where are we?
This is my homeland. Or rather, my last memories of it, moments before I left.
Homeland?
Have patience. All will be explained. You saw Sliske, the Majorat, deal his final blow. I am dying. I have slowed our passage of time momentarily, so I may share this with you. Please explore. I will wait for you along the path. Many millennia ago, I was born here, far away from the land you call home. From as far back as I can remember, this world was in turmoil. My world was home to many gods, many beings who would claim it as their own. The gods fought relentlessly, and as more and more came, the fight became more vicious. A war broke out and lasted for centuries. The world was ravaged, and the population decimated. And do you know who came out the victor, Kizamus?
I don't know.
No one. No one emerged triumphant from this ordeal. My people were killed. All my friends, my family. I was left to stand alone in this devastated place, with my memories of what my life had been.
What about the gods?
Many died. Many fled. Please, meet me along the path when you are ready. He is one of the fallen, a god long dead and forgotten. In the last days of the war, I believed I was soon to die too. There was no food, no water. I scavenged among the dead, until one day I found a weapon, a large sword crackling with energy. I recognized it as a weapon of the gods, the elder weapons as they refer to them. The weapons were prized among them, and they fought even over these. I knew it to be my only chance, so I took it. Having seen so much violence, I do not believe in it as a solution. But in this case, I had no other choice. In the dead of night, I crept from the ruins of my home. I found a slumbering god, the god you see before you, peaceful amid the rubble. I stabbed him with the elder weapon, driving it deep into his back. The weapon shattered as the god reared back in pain before crashing to the ground. As I watched him take his last breaths, I felt power growing within me. I became a god myself, equal to those who had tormented my life. I left this world and its painful memories. I fled for centuries, aimlessly wandering, until something captured my attention. I felt drawn to a planet, Gielinor. It was beautiful, and more importantly, empty. It was somewhere I could hide and mourn my dead. I had not expected to find the stone upon it, the Stone of Jaws, granting me greater power, even than the gods of my home world. I will continue my story along the path. Meet me there when you are ready.
The dead god looms over the landscape, terrifying, even in death. His appearance suggests that he was not a benevolent god, though, even if he were, it seems that none of the gods who visited this world cared much for the mortals living upon it. What is this? It doesn't look like any race I've seen.
Warrior, a creature introduced to this world only for war. The sparring gods here brought in other races to fight for them, their own armies. Much like the Majorat or the Icene were introduced to Gielinor. When I arrived in Gielinor, I spent a long time alone. I didn't know what my future held, what I should do next. Eventually, I came upon what I believed was my purpose. I aimed to create a world free of the influences of gods. A world where the inhabitants would not have to fight other beings' wars. So I introduced my own chosen races. Humans, gnomes, beings who do not strongly tend towards evil nor good. I chose tribes who had no concept of gods, and I brought them to Gielinor to live uninfluenced lives while I retained the balance. I was foolish. My plan would never work. I will continue my tale along the path. Please meet me when you are ready.
Unlike Guthix's race, this creature is clearly a warrior. It almost looks as if it was created for combat, with strong muscles and thick skin. It could have ripped a Naragi to shreds in seconds. The creature is wearing tough armor, bearing the mark of a long-forgotten god.
I should have seen it coming. I introduced them to the world. I had power greater than they had ever seen. The mortal races began to worship me. They built shrines to me, made sacrifices. They waited on my every word. It pained me deeply to see myself becoming what I had always loathed. They should not have been living beneath me, serving me. I wanted them to be free, balanced, to make their own decisions. Knowing my presence was thwarting my efforts, I withdrew into the earth to sleep. I hoped I would be forgotten over the ages. But it was not long before the other gods arrived. I feel my strength draining. We are nearly at the end. Please meet me along the path when you are ready.
This looks to be the remains of a ruined temple. Some of Guthix's race must have begun to worship the gods who came to this world, creating shrines and temples before becoming caught up in the war that destroyed them.
When I ended the war with the gods, I did it with no pleasure. I knew I had already failed. Looking over Gielinor, it was like looking at my homeland. The land ravaged, the mortals worshipping a multitude of gods, including myself. The races brought in by the now banished gods remained, and disrupted the balance at every turn. Battles raged on, in the names of the absent gods. I could banish the gods themselves, but I could not remove the memories of them, the blinded faith displayed by their followers. Besides, my own interference would only disrupt the balance more. I have disproportional power, more than any single being should have. I will wait for you further up the path when you are ready to continue.
The tablet stands alone amongst the ruins. The clarity of the writing suggests that Guthix has a strong memory of this tablet. Perhaps it was something he saw every day, or something dear to him. Along the path stands a house, suggesting this could have been a waymarker or a sign.
I could have prevented this, Kizamus. I have been awake since you triggered the alarm. I knew what would happen.
You could have stopped Sliske. Why didn't you?
Kizamus, I have been the most powerful being on Gielinor since my arrival. Of course I could have stopped Sliske, if I desired to. But I embraced my death. It must occur, if the world is to be balanced. If the gods return, another war is inevitable. Gielinor must be returned to peace before war destroys it, before it becomes like my own home, a dead, desolate wasteland. Gielinor must be protected, Kizamus, but not by me, by a mortal. Someone with the power to defend against the gods, but not the power to be one. Sorry, the pain is becoming stronger. Please, enter the house. My home, when you are ready. I have so little time. Please, listen carefully, Kizamus. I have already shared my power with you, chosen you as one of my creatures, so that you may reach this point. When this is over, you will find yourself with even more power. Power you may use to defend against the gods. I know you allied yourself against me, but I also know you do not want your world to perish. If the gods are not stopped, your world will be destroyed, and you along with it. You must be a guardian of this world, Kizamus. Gielinor must be free.
I will do as you ask. I will use your power to protect Gielinor from the gods.
I am glad to have found such a noble mortal as you, Kizamus. My blessing is with you. It is over. My family. Wait for me. Remember your purpose, Kizamus. Forget me.